y'all, this is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. Got two very alarming things that I want to share with you. And I'm going to try to connect the dots for you. I may have to talk in a little code. But if you are in a major city, if you are African American, Negro, descendant of slaves, descendant of chattel slavery here in America, you want to pay close attention to these two stories because it's really alarming to me. I don't know if it's going to be to you, but I've been talking about this for the last couple of years. And so when I saw this movie trailer and I saw this story come out on the same day, I was just undone. So I need to share this with you. This is a data point, but this is a notice. And so I'm saying this with all due respect to my people. Y'all need to get ready. Especially you brothers, y'all need to get ready. So, what's let me play this trailer for you first. There was a movie trailer that came out on yesterday. I'm sorry, it came out on the 13th. And the title of the movie is called Civil War. Now, it's not expected to be released until 2024 on April 26th, 2024. But what I find interesting is that it comes out like, a few days after the Leave the World Behind movie, which if you spell Leave the World Behind, well, I'm not going to even get into all that. Anyway, this movie trailer is alarming, so I'm going to play it for y'all. Check it out.
19 states have seceded.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Let me know if you want to try anything on.
I guess aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America.
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
Citizens of America,
the so-called Western forces of Texas and California
have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens?
We're moving to D.C. today.
You need to go down there.
They shoot journalists on sight in the Capitol. Every instinct in me says this is death.
flooded.
Every time I survived a war zone, I thought I was sending a warning home. Don't do this. But here we are.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here. What? Well, you're American, okay?
Okay. What kind of American are you? You don't know?
The Western forces will reach the White House on July 4th.
Oh my God.
Get in the car! Get in the car!
Move, move, move!
You're gonna hang back.
I'm not hanging back.
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So do you remember, well, if you haven't seen the movie Leave the World Behind, this is a spoiler, another spoiler. But at the end of the movie, the black guy who's the homeowner was basically telling about the steps of how an empire falls, basically, on a budget, because the military had created some type of plan or strategy to destroy a nation from the inside. So it's basically going to make it fall from the inside. And so once it noticed that a nation was, I guess, weakened and destabilized to a certain point, then they can implement these three strategies. And the last part of the strategy is civil war and coup d'etat and civil unrest, where basically the citizens would turn against each other, they turn against the government, and so you wouldn't have to worry about bombing the nation because the nation would basically destroy itself. And so this is what, and the fact that this movie trailer came out a couple of days after that movie came out, and after, the character in the movie noted that this was a strategy, to me signifies like we're on between stages 2 and 3, because we're already having hacks, rolling blackouts, and different things. Although I don't think whatever they're expecting to come in the way of major blackouts or communication outages, I don't think that has happened yet. But once that happens, the last phase will be implemented. And so that's what I want to talk about, is that this last phase is coming, and it is going to be um, very bad. And so this is what I feel like this movie is doing, some predictive programming, basically telegraphing what is to come. Um,
God bless America.
all right, and notice that they said um, it would be Florida and stop this. Notice they said that it would be Florida and Texas that would be the the I guess the opposing states engaged in the Civil War. So, why I am alarmed is yesterday I read on the 14th, it says Congress approves bill barring any president from unilaterally withdrawing from NATO. If you don't understand what NATO is for, what NATO does, what NATO has done, where NATO has been, this is significant because next year is an election year. This movie is expected to come out in April 2024, before November 2024, when this nation is expected to hold its national elections for the next president of the United States. You got Colt 45 running, although I don't know what's going to happen with him. I kind of think that, I don't know. I'm just going to hold my thoughts. I feel like it's going to be a Nikki Haley, um, Ron DeSantis ticket. And if you don't know anything about those two people, they'll be far worse than Trump could have ever been. They know how to be racist and not overt about it. So it's just gonna be some interesting times. That's who I see on the political ticket for the Republican Party. But it could be Colt 45 by, and then he picked whoever. I don't know. It looks like the Republicans don't like anybody enough except for Colt 45. So we'll see. On the Democratic ticket, they got Papa Poopy Pants. They have not announced whether Ski Wee will run on the ticket or not. And I don't even know if Papa is going to make it because of the scandals with his son and the impeachment inquiry. So I don't know what's going to happen. But what I do know is 2024 is going to be live, and it's not going to be live in a good way. So the fact that this movie comes out, this other movie comes out, Leave the World Behind, and now this bill barring any president from withdrawing from NATO, to me indicates that in the event that there is civil unrest and America needed help, you can see all the nations are lining up to be against this nation. Everybody sees the empire is falling, and so nobody's going to help it stand. They want it to fall. Now, remember, we're all collateral damage, and so that's how I'm looking at this. Is from not just African American Black people, everybody who's just a civilian. We're all um, going to be collateral damage. But in the event there is in the event that there is some type of civil unrest, this means that whoever the president is, which if it's Poopy Pants, who is a globalist, would be able to call on NATO to come in and help. So that would essentially mean we would no longer be a sovereign nation. We would no longer be under our constitution. We would be, part of this international treaty thing. We'd be just like a third world country. So I expect a lot of things to change next year. Y'all know, of course, in the movie trailer, it wasn't but one brother, and he was trying to help the pilgrims as always. Children of the Corn was doing what they do. Um, and all those who have formed confederacies against us. So, that means one of two things. We've been in captivity, we've been rescued and delivered, or we are yeeted. So y'all need to also pay attention to how many of us are in these movies, what we're doing, who's centered, which groups are centered, because it's saying something. The powers are speaking without speaking. So it says Congress has approved legislation that would prevent any president from withdrawing the United States from NATO without approval from the Senate or an act of Congress. The measure, spearheaded by Democratic um, Senator Tim Kaine from Virginia and Marco Rubio, a Republican from Florida, um, and they put it in the annual National Defense Authorization Act, which passed out of the House on Thursday and is expected to be signed by President Biden. So this is huge because this is where they stick all the other stuff at that they're going to do to us in the event there's a national emergency declared and they declare martial law if there's some type of something. So you really need to go through these acts and understand these executive orders, and it's a lot of stuff in these laws that are signed. They're not always easy to put your hand on, but these come out every year. So you can read it and you can see what they're planning. The provision underscores Congress's commitment to the NATO alliance that was a target of former President Trump's ire during his term in office. The alliance has taken on revitalized importance under Paw, of course, because he's a globalist and he's a part of the new global thing, especially since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. NATO has held strong in response to Putin's war in Ukraine and rising challenges around the world, Kaine said in a statement. He added the legislation affirms U.S. support for this crucial alliance that is foundational for our national security. It also sends a strong message to authoritarians around the world what the free that the free world remains united. What is he talking about? We live in an authoritarian country. Rubio said the measure served as a critical tool for congressional oversight. To me, you're looking at the people who helped to sell you out. They tell on themselves without telling on themselves. So these are the people who have put in place that UN president can't withdraw from UN, meaning if anything happens here, Civil unrest, you're going to have boots on the ground, little blue hats, and they're already here. So the okie doke is in, you know, it's just watching it unfold. That's what we are doing. We must ensure we are protecting our national interest and protecting the security of our democratic allies, he said in a statement. Biden has invested deeply in the NATO alliance during his term. He has committing more troops and military resources to Europe as a show of force against Putin's war. That ain't why. He's also overseen the expansion of the alliance with the inclusion of Finland and ongoing efforts to secure Sweden's full accession. Making sure the children of the corn get up in there. They're going to terrorize us. But the children of the corn think they're going to be safe. The money places will be safe because, of course, they always care about where they put their money. And some of these places are actually the seats of where the adversary comes from. So if you know anything about that part of the world and that history, it's a reason that they want to make sure those places are in and protected, because I think personally it aligns with them being prepared for battle, and the final battles, the final movements for this end times, not now, but once they get to doing whatever they do over there in the Middle East, to get the little government set up, to get the little stuff, the way that they want it so that they can rule. When the creator comes back to judge the earth, I think that part of the world is going to play a huge role in what happens during the end times, because they are the children of the fallen, descendants of the fallen, or the fallen. Um, they different. They build different. Let's just leave it at that. The former president's advocates say his tough talk and criticisms of the alliance served to inspire member states to fulfill their obligations to reach 2% of defense spending, lightening the burden on the U.S. But Trump's critics say the former president's rhetoric weakens the unity and force of purpose of the alliance. And they expressed concerns that Trump would abandon the U.S. commitment to the Mutual Defense Pact of the alliance or withdraw the U.S. completely, which signifies to me that they must expect or know that Code 45 is coming back. He said he gonna run from prison, so shoot, I guess gonna run from prison. I don't know what he gonna do. I think they just postponed his trial. In any event, this is very alarming for a variety of reasons. If you have been in the military, you understand the role of NATO, you understand what they do, but you understand as an empire is collapsing. And because we know about the Albert Pike letter, we know about biblical prophecy, we know just what we see with our own eyes. This thing is going down. We also know the history of this nation, and folks not gonna go down with the fight. The children of the corn are not. And so you can expect whatever they have planned along the lines of civil unrest. And when I say they, we just the invisible people, the invisible powers, principalities in high places. Um, Whenever they get ready to do whatever it is that they get ready to do, or when all the pieces have come into play and it's time for that piece of the plan or the strategy to be implemented, we're going to be collateral damage. So this is why it's going to be very important for you to get out of those big city centers, have your own supplies, try not to be out in these streets, and have a network of people that you can work with, because things are going to be happening. Things are going to happen rapidly. Uh, it's only going to take a few hours or a few days before people in this country go berserk, because they don't have resources, because they don't have information, because folks are going to be passing out and passing away and needing things and don't have it. So get ready for everything. I don't think they're putting this stuff out at the end of the year on Thursdays and Friday nights and late. They're not doing this stuff by accident. It's also a huge time for um, Satanists. This winter solstice, a lot of important dates for them are coming up. So I anticipate a lot of bad things not bad things. Well, it could be bad things, but just a lot of signs and symbols and colors and codes to be coming out, because these people, that's how they talk to each other. So if you're awakened, if you're enlightened, you need to be praying to the Most High, to the Creator, to give you spiritual discernment so that you can understand what's happening, so you can see things that other people cannot see, and so that you can prepare. You can prepare yourself, you can prepare your community, you can prepare others for what is coming. All right, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Um, Hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload new content. Follow me on Rumble, Odyssey, Instagram, and Facebook. In the event that my channel is taken down, I will post to other platforms, those platforms that are in the description. Finally, keep prepping, keep praying, keep seeking the Most High, repent for your sins daily, keep watch, family, because so much stuff is coming out. They're not telling us this stuff for nothing. They're telegraphing, hey, we get ready to do this. Most people are so stupid, they don't believe it. They still want to call everything a conspiracy theory. And I'm fine with that, but, at some point, the truth is going to come out, and it's going to be real ugly. So we just got to be prepared for anything and everything. And now it looks like we got to be prepared for civil unrest, which I've always said this was the ultimate goal. They know that this country was founded on hate and bloodshed and murder and theft and everything unrighteous, and that's how it's going to go down. So it's going to be ugly. There's nothing going to be good about the fall of Mystery Babylon. But we're here. As long as we're here and until we are rescued, or we have our exodus, we got to prepare. You got to have faith. You don't have to be afraid if you know the Creator, if you know the Word, but you do have to prepare, even for the sword. We got to prepare for persecution. We got to prepare for perseverance. We got to prepare for everything. So do your best to be prepared, family. All right. This is Marley K, and I'm out.